That's right, it is closer than you think. Fantasy football season is upon us. Could not be more happy. Smack Talk here, Fantasy Smack Talk here. Nameco, Dustin. Dustin, tell them about the Ninja.
Check out, thank you to our sponsor, fanfootball.ninja. Check them out. If you have teams across platforms, you know how annoying it is when you want to pick up a guy and you got to jump from all the different windows. But you can have all your teams linked up between Yahoo, ESPN, CBS, NFL. And if you want to see if that one guy's available, it shows you where they are in all the leagues, makes it easy. And if you sign up now, you get free access for the entire year. So get on to fanfootball.ninja, check them out.
Also, don't forget about our draft guide. We got our rankings, we got our tiers, we got our cheat sheet, and even though I think it should be charged for 99 cents, President CEO says it should be free, it is free. So utilize it because we put a lot of work into that bad boy.
So let's talk about Tier 1. When you look at these four guys, these are the top four guys in pretty much every ranking, but they're in different orders, and with ours in particular, we got Russell Wilson at number 1, and I think just across the board, rushing yards are being very disrespected in what we've seen in the ADPs and some other rankings. Russell Wilson, he led the league last year in passing touchdowns, and he rushed for almost 600 yards and had 3 rushing touchdowns. You know, we think having Penny out there can add some, more versatility on that offense, maybe more balance. And when you look down from the rest of these guys, you got a couple of older guys and a guy coming off an ACL. Yes, all these guys have huge upsides, but I would say he has the least injury risk as well. So we got Russell at number 1. And then Deshaun Watson we have at number 3. I mean, he's the most exciting quarterback pick this year. You're going to have to use a high draft pick to get him, but if he can do what he did in the 7 games he played last year over the course of the season, it's going to be amazing. But just, coming off the injury, we got him down just a little bit, but he's still in Tier 1.
All right, as we look at Tier 2, all you Philly fans, I know what you see. You won the Super Bowl. Be nice. Get the chip off your shoulder. And I understand Carson Wentz was on pace for a ridiculous year. If he didn't get hurt, he was probably going to win MVP. But think about Matt Ryan after he won the MVP. We were like, hey, there's going to be some regression. So we'd be saying that about Wentz anyway at this point. And then you have the injury that happened in December, an ACL, an LCL, a torn IT band. I know everyone's knees are healing a lot better than it used to, but this used to be a year-long injury. He should be ready to go week 1, but will he really get his 300 rushing yards or be on that same pace for 600? I know he said he's going to play the same way he always did. They're going to be a little more cautious with him at the beginning, and there should be a slight regression. He's still good. He's still QB1. Don't hate me. He's still QB1. Cam Newton's the other guy I want to talk about. He's the only guy that all the other sites out there actually give respect for running the ball. And he had 754 rushing yards. He had 6 touchdowns. No reason to think those numbers will change. Every year they say they're going to run him less. Every year they run the exact same amount. It's going to happen again. They got McCaffrey there. He's the check down guy. He's not even really a running back. He's like an awesome slot receiver in my opinion. Olsen, CJ, Cam still will get those rushing yards and be fantasy relevant QB1 status.
All right, as we take a look at Tier 3, kind of the low-end QB1s here. Jimmy G, I mean, this guy, he went over the 49ers. He made a bad offense look good. He got paid. He's got some weapons around him. And again, he just made it look easy almost in terms of just, finding his guys. His completion percentage was ridiculous. Jimmy G is a very fun kind of low-end QB1, but I would want to pair him with another, safer guy a little bit later, just in case it was a little fluky. But you got to be excited about Jimmy G. And then Dak Prescott, he's getting very disrespected in the rankings. I get it. He lost Dez and he lost Witten. So he lost an old tight end and a receiver that he never really had much chemistry with anyway. As a rookie, he was just outside the top 5 in QBs. Yes, he did regress. He did regress going down to about the 10th best QB last year, but he had Elliott out for 6 games. We just think because of what he can do with his legs, 357 rushing yards, 6 rushing touchdowns last year, that will still be there. We see no reason why he can't be a QB1 again this year, even with those 2 weapons gone. Don't completely shy away from that.
And I get it, right? They're still going to have to pass the ball. It's not going to be all Zeke. Everyone's like, all they're going to do is give it to Zeke 80 times a game. It's not going to happen. All right, Tier 4, quickly with Luck. You know the deal. If he's healthy and he's the old Luck, he's great. If the shoulder is more of an issue than we think, like it was all of last year, then he's not so great. Therefore, he's just outside our top 10. But I want to touch on Alex Smith. Could Alex Smith put up over 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, rush 4 TDs? That could happen. That's exactly what Cousins did last year with this offense. So everyone's saying that Smith's going to much a worse offense. Is him and Cousins that huge of a gap between them? I don't believe so. And he ran for over 350 yards last year. The Redskins are going to run Smith more. It's a decent offense. Don't sleep too much on Alex Smith. Again, he's not necessarily 100% QB1. Just don't sleep on like 2 quarterback leagues.
He was a top 5 QB in most formats last year.
I mean, he's getting hate.
He's getting hated on a lot. His entire career.
I mean, he's the pillar of hate.
Tier 5, still some fun guys here. Marcus Mariota, big disappointment last year. He had 15 picks and only 13 touchdowns. But new offense, new head coach, new offensive coordinator. You got to think things might be going up for Mariota. He's a fun guy to grab late just because of what he can do with his legs. And then Jared Goff, this is a guy that some people do have him ranked higher than this, but when you look kind of above him with like Matt Ryan, Rivers, Stafford, Big Ben, I mean, if he does kind of what they've been doing and what they probably will do again this year, you're pretty happy, you're excited, and that's why we just can't quite put him over those guys just yet. But Goff, certainly we don't necessarily know his ceiling yet, his full ceiling, so he's a fun guy to grab late that could jump those more veteran guys in next year's rankings.
Tier 6, gonna start off with Dustin's boy.
Love him.
And that is
Mr. Trubisky.
And you're like, oh, he was terrible last year. Remember what we said about Carson Wentz last year? Like, well, he's got the arm, he's got the legs, he could be pretty good. Don't undervalue him just because he was a rookie last year. And Goff. And then they both blew up. So I'm not saying that he's going to blow up like that, but he's got the pedigree, like the arms, the legs, a nice tandem running back. He's now got Allen Robinson. Just a lot of things are coming together for Trubisky, so just don't forget about him. And normally we say go young with upside over old and reliable, which is the case why we have Trubisky ranked where he is. Old and reliable though, Eli Manning ranked right near him as well. The reason for that is Barkley. This is the first running back he's had since Tiki Barber, who you probably might not even know who it is out there. Actually, you know him from being in the broadcast booth. So this was a long, long time ago. 2 guys not to sleep on. This is my don't sleep on Trubisky and Eli pitch tier.
There you go.
In the tier. That makes any sense.
Tier 7, I want to talk about Tyrod. He's out there with Cleveland, obviously. I think he will be given every chance to be the starter out there if they can play even close to 500 ball. And I don't think they're going to go straight to the rookie unless they have to. And if Tyrod can do it, he's going to be asked to do a lot on that offense, especially with his legs. He could be a sneaky QB2, but you got to rank him this low because of Mayfield behind him. And then Ryan Tannehill, don't forget, 2014 and 15, he threw for over 4,000 yards. Looked like he was kind of headed in the right direction, and then it kind of all fell apart. And then he had the injury last year, but all the preseason reports before last year were off the charts with how excited they were about Tannehill. But again, you can't really rank him any higher, but he is a guy that, in really super deep leagues, not a bad flyer.
Tier 8 got a lot of rookies in here, obviously. I'm only going to highlight one, and that's the one that's probably not battling for a starting position, and that's Lamar Jackson. We talked about rushing yards out of your quarterback, how important it is. He rushed for 1,600 yards in college. Ridiculous.
Insane.
Once the Ravens start to be terrible and they realize they gave Joe Flacco too much money after winning a Super Bowl, and they're going to go ahead, yeah, Ravens fans, you know it's true. You hate that contract. What they're going to do is say, hey, let's give this kid a shot. He might not even be that good in real life football, but in fantasy, you better believe he'll be good. Tim Tebow was good because he ran in fantasy.
Tebow.
This guy's, sorry, I had to get that in there for you, buddy. He could be solid. Dynasty Keeper Leagues, I think he's really interesting. Obviously, if he might not even play this whole year, so you can't rank him any higher. I'm just saying, for fantasy-wise, keep an eye on Jackson.
I mean, he could instantly be a QB1 if Flacco goes. It's possible, just because of what he can do with his legs. But that's our rankings for quarterbacks. Check out all our other tiers of rankings. Subscribe to our channel. Like this video.
Keep talking and making my football.
Leave us a comment. Get some dialogue going.
I wonder if that looks good. That was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
I don't know if it'll look good, though.
It's online. Quarterbacks!